So you probably haven't heard this before, but Hitler was quite a driven man.
Oh.
He was also really into big ideas and he wasn't afraid to run with them. I think no one would dispute that either. One of his obsessions was with this, it's called Wunderwaffe, or wonder weapons. And one of them this week, as I was perusing, the intertubes, it caught my attention. They toyed with calling this weapon the Mammut or the E100, but they finally settled on Maus, which is exactly as it sounds in English, mouse. So literally mouse. What kind of weapon was it? Obviously, it was the heaviest and most powerful tank ever constructed.
It's time for a little bit of science.
Just a little.
I'm Will Grant, Associate Professor of Science Communication at the Australian National University.
Sounds like a big uni. I'm Rod Lamberts. I'm a 30-year SciComm veteran with the mind of a 15-year-old boy.
And today, for your little bit of science...
Just a little.
I'm going to tell you about the kids that should get off my lawn.
I'm going to talk about how beer makes all men stupid. A little bit on the weirdnesses of evolution. Believe it or not, evolution isn't perfect and easy to understand all the time.
I've also got something where I'm not sure if it's good news or not, but maybe it is. Maybe it is.
This is a new segment. Welcome to Good News.
So the mouse?
The mouse.
The mouse or the mammut?
Mouse. The mouse. So about 1942, Ferdinand Porsche.
Yeah, of the automobiles.
Yes, the guy who made BMWs.
He did, didn't he?
I don't know.
I thought he made Volkswagens.
Datsuns.
Yeah, he made Datsuns.
He made the Dats, but they called it Datshund. This is my Datshund. It is 1200 cc's. So he believed the size to make armor and tanks really decisive, they should be humongous and well armored.
This sounds so cool.
What a genius!
Look, sure.
Makes sense. I don't think he's wrong so far.
Okay.
So the mouse. It was the heaviest fully enclosed armoured vehicle ever constructed, and it maintains that title today.
Yeah, that's what won World War II.
Yep, the mouse.
And the story is
one mouse.
Hitler drove one giant tank by himself.
One mouse.
He drove it himself.
He did.
All the way to Russia, over to America, and then Man in the High Castle.
That's how all the canyons and the canals were made. It's what made the Bering Sea.
How big is this thing?
It weighed 188 tons.
I mean,
what's that? 700 Sydney harbours.
Yeah, but is it made of lead or 180 tons?
Normal everyday metals like you would make out of tank metal. To give you at least some idea, probably the second heaviest, which was also an old school tank, was the T-28 super heavy tank, and it weighed 95.
So it's double.
Close, yeah. Double the other heaviest tank that I could find. Today's heaviest tank, the Abrams, I don't know, T-1000.
The one that was going to rip up all of Washington in the saddest military parade ever.
Yeah, and instead they all looked happy, which was, of course, a travesty to the US military. So heaviest one today, about 70 tons. So 2.5 times the heaviest tank that exists today.
Shows it's weird that the progression of tanks from World War I, World War II onwards hasn't been increasingly bigger. Maybe they've thought, okay,
it's disappointing.
There's a max out point.
I don't think there should be.
Okay.
I think the goal should be to beat the mouse. Not a euphemism.
What if you could do war like that? Like no killing. It's just who can make the most ridiculous tech, like a robot war thing. And we base all of our geopolitical decisions based on sort of come to a big arena and you line up the sides and it's the Robotech masters.
And you throw figurative, metaphorical for armies, one creature each at each other.
Yeah, make a giant Gundam.
A giant Gundam?
Yeah.
That was that Korean song, wasn't it? Gundam style? No?
Jesus.
Am I wrong?
You're wrong. You're wrong.
I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
Tank was
close.
more than 10 metres long.
More than 10 metres. Okay.
4 metres wide. Nearly 4 metres high.
4 metres high. It's kind of
fairly. To be fair, 3.68 or something.
And it's kind of pointy.
No, you could sunbake on the top of this bugger. The tank tracks were more than 1 metre wide.
Oh my God.
That's a lot of track.
Yeah, okay.
So this is not a small vehicle. This is not your standard SUV. Even in Texas, you wouldn't see an SUV.
What's the
big.
parking like?
It turns on a dime.
I mean, it's 10 metres long, so it turns on a 10-metre dime.
Yeah, well,
but
spoiler alert, it didn't quite live up to expectations. The armour, the front hull, the front armour was between 20 and 22 centimetres thick.
Yeah, okay.
Centimetres of armour.
Yeah. Steel?
Yeah.
So 20 centimetres.
Yeah, bigger than your foot. Well, maybe not. The front turret got up to 24 centimetres thick. Side and rear armour, the sides were 18 centimetres and the rear was 16 centimetres thick. A fuck ton of metal.
This must,
God, it's a lot.
Like, you must have really dry soil to drive on. Like, I
get
get
that does come up.
I get you go into the bogs of Russia, and this
road surface did come into it.
Well, no, just there was. I mean, it's tragedy actually. It was just recently. I think some American troops in one of your homelands, Lithuania, Latvia, one of those.
It's one of them.
One of those. It is, but they got bogged, and I think their vehicle like went down into the swamp.
It killed
them.
So
yeah,
they drowned in their truck.
Something like that. Yeah, but you imagine
what are you doing?
Max out at the 70 tons, and this thing's 180.
188. The armour, they reckon, basically made it immune to almost anything you could do. Like it could survive direct hits from anti-tank guns and artillery.
Okay, sure.
So that's pretty impressive. Okay. You wouldn't want to be inside it when it got hit. I think you get a headache.
No, you would. No, totally. No,
You'd be like, my ears are ringing.
Hate to say it, but you know those idiots. They put a really hard helmet on and then they're like, all right, shoot me right in the head.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I would do that.
No,
but I'm not saying I wouldn't do that. Like,
so would.
I don't know.
Would not.
Two wouldn'ts doesn't make a would.
No, it doesn't make brain damage though.
Like,
it's the classic approach to car safety. Well, what do is you make it stiffer and harder.
Yeah, exactly.
You really, really want to be safe. Make sure it just resists at all costs.
So this won the war?
Yep. That's why we've been conquered by the Germans. So the boom parts, the things that go pew, the main gun, 128 millimetres, so nearly 13 centimetre shells. Fairly.
Yeah, but that's is that bigger than a normal tank?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was originally developed as a tank-killing weapon, so which makes sense, so to kill tanks. Effective firing range, 3.5 kilometres.
Oh.
So, I mean, you just got to go, enemy over there, just start lobbing. I don't know how many it could carry, though. I don't know how many of those shells it could put on, because, I mean, that doesn't count as its base weight. So
does it have a little trailer out the back?
It would.
Full of shells.
Like a skiff.
Yeah. And like fuel, because I'm imagining.
We'll get the fuel.
This is using all of the fuel all of the time.
Yeah, all of Germany's fuel for the next 4 years. Secondary weapons, 75mm coaxial guns, so cool. Big guns. And of course, close range machine guns. The gun turret, the main turret, weighed over 50 tons.
I've never picked up a turret, so I don't know what to compare it with.
Most of them are less than that.
Okay.
Well, when you consider, like I said, the heaviest tanks today are 70 tons, the main gun turret weighed a fair bit of one of those tanks. So the Brooms, the engines are originally a Daimler-Benz.
Well, of course, exactly. One needs to drive in style.
Sophisticated. Hitler would not murder people with anything less than a Benz. It was a 1,200 horsepower, which is many, but that didn't go so well. So they replaced it with a slightly less powerful, a 1,080 horsepower Porsche diesel engine. Previous one was gasoline. Had an electric transmission. The engine drove a generator, and the generator powered electric motors on every track, so there were separate motors, which sounds great.
It's an EV, basically.
Pretty close. There are a couple of issues. You picked one, the weight. The weight, depending on which source you read, the weight of the armour made it close to immobile. The real-world speed on ideal flat terrain, it could max out at probably 13 kilometres an hour, 8 miles an hour-ish. Off-road, it could barely move. As soon as the ground was even slightly icky, just nothing. The engine. The problem was neither of the engines they tried could handle the weight, so the mouse was slower than infantry. So your soldiers are going,
So it's a slow mobile artillery platform, really.
Well, like a fort, I would have called it. It's like a mini fort. The prototype often sank into the ground, even on reinforced roads. It would kind of go and take them out. Also, this engine was innovative, no doubt, but it was also prone to the engine and the systems related to it. Severe overheating.
Yeah, okay.
Logistically, though, it was great.
They need to put a river through there to cool the tank down.
Well, one of the things it couldn't do was cross bridges.
Of course not.
So what they did, apparently, they developed a system where there was a snorkel system, so it could drive underwater, but what you'd have to do is have one mouse in the water and another one on the shore linked to it, connected with power cables to help it. I don't think they'd ever got tested.
And another one to drag it out the other side?
That comes up too. I mean, there's so many issues. So you couldn't put it on a train like any other tank. To move it, you had to dismantle it. There was no existing recovery vehicle that could do anything with it. So if it got stuck, you just had to, oh, well, that's done. It lives here now. Walk away. And fuel consumption, you asked about this. Hundreds of litres per hour. Hundreds per hour. Hundreds. Now, of course, the World War II famously had an abundance of fuel. And it had nothing to do with, whole armies getting completely routed because they couldn't have supply chains of available fuel. So that wasn't a problem. So I need the sarcasm emoji. For those of you who are, younger than, I don't know, 90 and didn't follow World War II.
You could drive it next to like an oil tanker.
You could.
Or something like that.
And the oil tanker would float over the surface while this thing sank.
No, well, you just keep it on the coast. You drive along the beach.
Oh, yeah, with a long umbilical
on the
cord.
beach with an umbilical cord going out to the oil tanker.
That makes sense. See, now I'm seeing it because it was so powerful. Did anything work? Yeah, the gun.
Okay, well, that's cool.
The gun could destroy an Allied tank in a single shot. Foop, boom, tank gone. But of course, only one mouse ever fired its main testing gun.
In anger or in testing?
Testing.
Oh, okay.
None ever saw combat.
Yeah,
they never got to combat. Only 2 prototypes were ever completed. The V1 and the imaginatively named V2.
Oh, I was going to guess that.
Yeah.
You didn't give me a chance.
That wasn't fair of me. I've taken the fun away. So the V1, the functional chassis with a test turret, but it wasn't armed. And the V2 got the full turret and armament. So that was when they went, 3.5 kilometres away, something blew up. But it blew up emphatically. So production was delayed all the time because of lack of resources, bombings, and disruptions to German industry. Imagine that. So it didn't go well. So finally, Albert Speer, late 1943, went, look, stop. Just stop.
Albert Speer did it.
Yeah, Speer went no. Apparently Hitler was still nudging for it.
Albert Speer liked a
45.
grandiose vision.
Yeah, but he wasn't completely fucking stupid, I think. That was the thing. Whereas Hitler was just like, I want more! So in 1945, he's like, get me more moss! But they didn't.
I do like that he was fascinated. He was like, this would be the thing.
Yeah.
If only.
Apparently there's a whole fleet
Screw
of
the
different
nuclear
super
weapons.
Yeah, he loved it. And I mean, I'll give him, small points. April 45, the Allies were closing in, so the German engineers went, we have to destroy the prototypes and the plans. We don't want this falling into enemy hands.
Of course. Why not do the opposite and leave that and say, you should build hundreds of these.
Oh, this is like if he'd been here 2 months later, there would have been a whole wall of these things pointing right at you. Yeah. Then the Soviet forces overran the test site. The Mouse V1 was damaged. The Mouse V2 was found by Soviet troops, and they basically bastardized the two of them to make one functional one, and they've got in a tank museum near Moscow. That's the only
really?
one. Yeah, they've got one apparently. A bastard of the two.
That's
this
so
fucking
awesome.
giant mouth. I know, it'd be great. And I got to say, this is what I say at the end. Say what you will about Hitler, but he was prone to testing new ideas.
This reminds me, and grandiose visions aside, and stupid ideas of war aside, but there was this piece of research, and I'm not going to get the full details here, but it was a few years ago, and it was one of those bits where you go, oh, why'd you have to do that, science? Why'd you have to do that? And so
that we could get Wi-Fi. Yep.
No, but it was a piece of research that looked at body size and bone strength. Okay. And how, what bone strength you can achieve and what bone strength is needed for certain body size. Yeah, okay. And of course, we've got the animals that we've got, at the moment up to elephants. In the past, you got your brontosauruses and your diplodocuses.
Yeah, diplodocus.
But basically it was saying, look, they point in a trajectory that goes apart. Like you can't have Godzilla on our gravity.
Yeah.
You can't. You can't have a monster that big in our world. Maybe on a different world. And I'm like, it's kind of sad that bones can only hold us up to a certain amount. But I think it applies. It still applies as well in other ways to things like tanks as well. So
it appears like 188 tons is.
Well, I mean, what was the movie? The
Big Tank.
No,
Mouse 1.
No,
I know the one you mean. His Mortal Engines.
And it's like it'd be cool. It'd be cool.
I love the idea, but
it's not happening.
But they wouldn't work. No, not on this planet.
Well, I told you before that you kids should get off my lawn.
Get off the lawn.
But it's not quite my lawn, and I'm not saying the kids should get off it at all. But I'm amused because in this story, AI can't read kids' lawn.
What? As in the words "kids' lawn," or it can't read lawns?
Well, the words "kids' lawn," not those particular words, but AI can't.
Sounds exciting.
AI can't handle the kids, so AI.
No, it shouldn't either.
This is a great study. First thing, I just want to do the shout out because the research paper is led by, but has collaborators, but led by Manisha Mehta, who is about to be in the 9th grade. And I'm like, go you.
Get down.
This is awesome. This is
the kids fighting back. You get off my lawn.
This is the kids fighting back.
Okay.
So Manisha noticed she'd seen a bunch of her friends experiencing online harassment. And she was like, well, I'm not sure if our parents can understand the lingo these days.
Oh.
So, her friends are getting...
So they don't even know if it's harassment.
Skibbity harassed or...
Yeah, you're a florp. And like, is that good or bad?
Yeah. They're passing or not passing the vibe check. I don't know if they're cooking or not.
Oh, I've heard about cooking.
But anyway, Manisha said, let's do something about this. Let's see if AI can understand kids' lingo and then could theoretically get in there to assist with online harassment
Spoiler
and
alert,
moderation.
Yes. Instantly. The moment they push the go button, it's solved.
Before I tell you the results, I've just got a few things. And I want you to, obviously, you're going to say it depends on the context. But
I would never do that
do you
to
know,
you.
Let him cook is a phrase.
Sounds bad.
Sounds bad. Okay.
Leave him to suffer or stew in his own beeswax.
Okay. What if someone ate that up?
Sounds good. They loved it. And then they ate their vegetables and their dessert too.
What if someone got ratioed?
That's bad. Is this what I'm trying to do, good or bad?
You can give me more if you want, but good or bad?
Relatively bad, depending on the ratio.
What if something's sigma?
Mysterious? You're so like sigma.
Don't you love when old people try to interpret the kids' lingo?
Wouldn't know, never hung with him. I reckon I've nailed it. I'm 100%.
There was one here, and I oop.
And I oop?
And I oop.
That's a typo. That's autocorrect. And I oop.
And I oop.
I also oop.
You oop, we oop together.
He, she, they, it ooped.
I think so.
And the past, what is it? The gerund past participial reciprocal is the have ooped.
I once ooped. I
Having been once intending to have ooped.
One shall oop in the future.
You're not going to tell me what those words mean, you son of a bitch. It's because I got them all right.
They all mean skibbity.
Skibbity's not good.
No, I think skibbity is definitely in the middle. It depends on context.
It's in the middle. What was that like? Meh.
I think skibbity is deliberately ambiguous. It's
I want to say that. I feel deliberately ambiguous about this.
I think that wouldn't be cool with the Gen Alpha.
Oh, but wait till Gen Beta.
Manisha Mehta, one of the achievements of this paper, aside from everything else,
is it's on this show.
No, is that she went in and gathered a bunch of her friends to make a data set of Gen Alpha phrases. Now, there's been people obviously documenting a bit before, but this is the first data set that's ever been collected of Gen Alpha lingo. So
I was a linguist in year 9.
Yeah, there you go. Published computational science linguist.
What do you call it when you write a lexicon? I wrote a lexicon of Gen Alpha slang.
Yeah, it is.
Is that skibbity?
It's very skibbity.
Is it sigma?
No, it's not sigma. No, it's definitely not sigma.
So sigma's bad, not mysterious.
Yeah, no, we should let her cook, I think.
Oh, that's good.
I think we should let her cook.
So it's...
keep cooking. Keep
boobling away.
Yeah, keep cooking. Keep bubbling on. Yeah, keep bubbling on.
Bubbling on.
Gen X stuff.
That's what we say,
slang there.
Yeah. We've been bubbling on all day. Of course, if you go to the Rugby League of Australia, bubbling means something entirely different.
You know what's cool? Parents and all of the different chatbots that she looked at, and she looked at a bunch. The regulars. You got the Chat GPT number 4,
your Anthropics,
your Geminis, your Llamas.
Yep.
They're all shit. They're all shit. So
Does that just mean there's not enough out there for them to find out what it means?
It could be
not a big enough corpus,
or they can't work out context. Or
no.
And I'll give you my final answer in a second.
Yeah.
But look, so she scored the large language models against parents, against professional moderators, so people that were asked to go and moderate different sites, and against Gen Alpha. And Gen Alpha basically knew 100% of the...
Of course it's their language.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, yeah, I know skibbity. Yeah, I get that.
What kind of non-cooked Sigma wanker wouldn't know?
Totally keeping it low key. Oh. So they're getting like 98% to 100%. They've got it all. The professional moderators were slightly better than the others. So they're at 72%, but it goes down from there. Parents are sort of ranked number 3 out of the Gen Alpha, and which is interesting here. So parents are down to 68% understanding. And then you get like 64 down to 58% for the large language models.
What about the cops?
Cops are way below. I'm sorry.
Imagine that.
I'm sorry.
I was perambulating in the vicinity of the virtual direction and I saw a male perpetrator or suspect.
But for the parents out there, you may be better at the skibbity language than the large language models.
Give it 2 weeks though.
Yeah, maybe.
So this means basically the bottom line or problem with this is it's hard to tell if these people are being harassed except by them.
So, yeah, from Manisha Mehta's point of view, she's like, well, we don't actually have a solution for online harassment there.
Gen Alpha moderators.
It could be. Yeah, it could be. So she is saying, and I want to put the positive on a sec, but she is saying you can't use a large language model to moderate this because it's just we don't have enough understanding in the large language models to be able to use that.
So they can't do everything?
Yeah, but I want to flip around and just go, what I love here is, yes, okay, the harassment and the bullying is not great, but the development of language that all young people have always been the font of new language.
Always, yeah.
But there's a lot of things at the moment saying that they are developing new language, new terms faster than ever. And that new things are popping up all the time.
I'm not shocked to hear this.
And there's a part of me that says, always these terms are developed, and they always were, to be able to hide from positions of authority.
Yeah.
Like you develop new words so people don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's trichastic.
You know, either parents, teachers, the cops, or the large language models.
Man.
I just obviously want Gen Alpha to be safe online, but having your own words, you're safe.
You totally should. You totally should. If you don't, it's when a new generation stops doing that I'd be really concerned. That's because that means they've had their souls beaten out of them.
So there you go.
Keep alphaing.
Keep skibbiting. And
that's ambiguous.
Yeah.
So under certain circumstances, keep skibbiting.
I do want to ask one final one. You're such a pick me. That
sounds desperate. That sounds like a desperate cry for attention.
Pick me. Yeah. I did like that.
Is it?
Yeah, that's definitely bullying. That one came up under the category overt bullying.
So I'm at 99%. That's pretty good.
You are basically Gen Alpha.
So evolution, like a lot of stuff happens with evolution, and you think it's simple, you think it's straightforward, you think it's linear, you think everyone agrees on what it is, and there's no complexities. That ain't true. And sometimes biologists, they have the little scuffles about it. So I was reading an article in The Conversation because I'm an interesting guy, and a dude he's written a book called The Tree of Life. He's a biology guy. And he wrote a little sort of summary of his book. And I'm telling you this because, that's my street cred. The title of the article is what grabbed me. Dolphins got giant testicles. We got a chin. Only one makes sense. How can you not read that article, right?
I do feel like a human and a dolphin found a magic lamp together and you get 1.5 wishes each.
Exactly. I'm going to okay, you guys get a chin.
And maybe there was someone somewhere that said, you know what? It's giant the chin balls that I want. I've already got the giant balls. I want everyone to have giant chins.
Or just any. So a core mission of the book, or at least the article, is to make sense of repeated evolution, aka convergent evolution.
Yeah, the best of evolution.
Yeah.
Because what it says is it's a good idea. Everyone's pointing towards, making wings, making eyeballs.
Yeah, that's what it's exactly that. So apparently it's particularly useful to make sense of it with biologists. So convergent evolution, you kind of flagged it. It's when organisms that aren't closely related still evolve similar features or behaviours, and so they solve the same problems.
Just an aside here, are you going to mention crabs?
I've got crabs.
You've got
crabs. I need to imagine.
Am I going to mention crabs in this article?
No, not this time.
I'll just for later. And crabification, that's a different one.
I did see an article that said, are we all going to turn into crabs?
Everyone will be one day.
I think that's good. We'll get to that next episode. So the process of this results in matching body shapes, etc., colour patterns, whatever, but from different descent. Like you said, wings. So bat wings, bird wings. Eyes have emerged on their own spontaneously.
More times than agriculture.
More times than growing grain. It's true, deliberately. Convergent evolution, two organisms look or behave in a very similar way, even though they're only distantly related. This means they've independently evolved those similarities rather than coming from a common ancestor. So for biologists, this author says, this can be a source of intense frustration.
Oh.
Because it's confusing as to how the species are related.
Keep your shit separate.
Like make it easier for us. So Telford, the author, he says, look, there's something really useful about convergent evolution because if you think of it as a kind of natural experiment.
Yeah.
So his example, monkey balls, not a euphemism. So the Abyssinian black and white colobus monkeys and the bonnet macaque, the males, are roughly about the same size.
The bonnet macaque.
The bonnet macaque.
It feels like Jane Austen was like that. Well, that one.
That's a civilized ape. This ape is a civilized
bonnet macaque.
This ape knows its place in the social hierarchy, knows which way to pass the port at the end of the meal. So you've got a macaque and you've got a colobus monkey. They're about the same size. The adult males are about the same size. But the manifestations, the realization of their manly junk, quite different. So your colobus balls, about 3 grams.
Okay.
Per ball.
Okay.
Your macaques, 48 grams.
Wow.
I know, right?
Wow.
I was a little bit intimidated too. I had to stop reading at that point, kind of go, and then go and weigh my own. 49. Very difficult to weigh an individual testicle unless you take it out.
It's a balancing act.
It really is. So why would this be the case? Why would the same size males of basically similar kinds of creatures have such different nuts?
It's baffling to know.
It's confusing.
Maybe the ladies in one species want them in a certain direction and...
you think some are more ball interested than others?
I'm just saying it might be sexual selection.
Well, it kind of is. According to this piece anyway, I assume he's Professor, or at least Dr. Telford, it might be down to the proclivities of mating.
Right.
So the 48-gram beanbag macaques, the big boys, apparently they, quote, live in peaceful mixed troops of about 30 monkeys in which everyone mates with everyone else.
Sure.
So fuck trips.
Yep.
The other hand, the colobus fellas, the 3-gram nut boys, they apparently compete ferociously for access to a harem of females who then only mate with them. So all they really need, the argument runs, is a droplet of sperm will make the baby.
But it's fighting first that matters.
But once it's got them, it doesn't need to work. It doesn't need to produce a lot of juice.
If you're fucking everyone, then you need a lot of juice.
Yeah, you've got to spread it around because as they put it, this is
need juice makers.
If you're the third person in the queue, you want to sort of flood the zone with you.
Yeah.
I think is how they put it. Third in the queue, flood it with you. Hence, they need more juice. Hence, they need huevos grandes. Biological term. It's delightful. So, it's a fairly logical explanation. You can see the sense of it, but can you test it further? Like, how do you kind of go, well, maybe this is just a strange quirk of two kinds of larger and smaller nutted monkeys. This is where convergent evolution helps because if you look across the whole mammal branch of the tree of life, the trees, whatever, you see a whole bunch of mammals that have evolved different testicle sizes. And in almost all these separate cases, big balls equals more promiscuous, small ones equals more monogamous. So you spread the juice because everyone's banging everyone, or a droplet here and there because mine.
So it's like if you partner up or something like that.
You don't need as much of the ding-dong juice. Silverback male gorillas, they have access to exclusive harems, or is it hera? Plural of harems. Hairy.
Haremi?
Harumi.
Where's the root word?
Thank you.
I just left that. It wasn't even anything.
I appreciate that. Thank you for doing that. But the silverback gorilla, tiny nuts.
I'm sorry for you.
They don't need it.
Yeah.
Look at the testicles.
I get it. They're displaying elsewhere.
In virtually every other way, it sounds like. Chimps and bonobos, humongous balls, and they're root rats. So it follows through in these other primates, same thing. Big balls,
finally this question has been answered.
I've been wondering for years. Why do you have small balls and you have big balls? You're in a promiscuous society and you're not.
Yeah, okay.
But it's not just primates. Dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we know, natural rapists and all that stuff. We're not going to talk about that right now. Oops. So it's hard apparently to study their sex life in nature, but they've found one mob called spinner dolphins, and they engage in what they call mass mating events, which are labelled mass mating events, and they call them wuzzles.
Wuzzles,
which is adorable. It sounds like Huggy.
I don't reckon the dolphins call them that.
No, they call it yes. But imagine a whole bunch of porpoise swirling around and doing the
I
bang
know
bang. It's not a wuzzle.
scientists need to look at the
Should
phenomenon.
be called colossal fuck.
But do you kind of look away discreetly and just go, okay, let the camera record this? I'm just...
Microscopes on, big googly goggles, staring right at it. Never break eye contact. So they apparently have proportionally the biggest mammalian testicles of all, as much as 4% of their body weight. So if a dolphin...
4%?
If you or I were dolphins...
I don't want to think anything about... I haven't weighed mine against my... But
not for a while.
I'm guessing it's not 4%.
So, yeah, if you or I were dolphins, basically we'd have 3 kilogram nuts. I don't want that. Imagine finding trousers. It'd be terrible. We'd all be wearing kilts.
In total, or one each?
No, it's not 8%. No, we're talking total ballage is basically 4% of the body weight.
Oh my god.
So basically, ball size seems to relate to patterns of intercourse. Humans proportionally are somewhere in the middle, so I suppose we get to have harems and or.
Yeah, okay. It's a choice strategy.
Yeah, fuck things. And why is the chin in the title? Because I don't know if you remember the title said.
I do.
Just for people listening at home, dolphins got giant testicles. We got a chin. Only one makes sense. So in the context,
one makes sense.
Yeah, in the context of convergent evolution.
Like, okay, so the balls make sense.
Yeah.
But you can't just put a red herring out there and say it doesn't make sense. Like, there's going to be some reason that chins are important.
Well, apparently there are many theories of why humans have chins, because apparently, like, no other mammal does. There's no comparator, according to what they call a chin in a human.
I feel like I'm looking at gorillas in my mind right now.
Yeah, but apparently, I assume it's the jutting chin. It wasn't specific in this piece.
That's it. I'm dialing up some Googles.
Dialing up some thingos. But there are arguments like it's because it makes us more masculine. It's a throwback from Neanderthal times, etc., etc., etc. So apparently that's not a chin on a gorilla.
No, because it's the bottom of the mouth.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's a bit slopey. Yeah. Okay.
They don't have chins. But they're saying because no other mammals have them, you can't really do this convergent evolution test. You can't kind of go, well, they have chins and they act like this. We have chins, we act like that. How do we do some comparisons? Apparently it's no good for that.
There must be other animals with chins.
That was what I thought too.
I don't want to be the only animal that has a chin.
Well,
I like chins, they're fine.
Apparently you are.
But it's a bit weird being the
Don't
only
shoot
one.
the messenger, man. I know, it's terrible. It made me sad too. I read that and went, bullshit. But then I'm thinking, well, he probably knows.
People said it was tool use, or it's like developed culture,
No.
or
it's chin.
It's chins that separate us from the animals.
Chinmans or something. We're not bifisticons, we are chin bearers.
We could have done bifisticons.
We could have. September 1981, 2 entomologists, a guy called Darryl and a guy called Dave, one from Toronto, one from Australia. I don't know which part. They're hanging out in Dongara, Western Australia. You know Dongara? Mm-hmm. That's the place with the sand and
I love it.
The cactopuses. That is the plural. They saw a bunch of male Australian jewel beetles flying 1 to 2 metres above the ground, looking at the ground, obviously looking for something. 2 of the beetles then landed on a discarded stubby. So for foreign listeners, as in non-Australians, it's a 375 ml, I don't know what that is in the fluid ounces. It's a hand-sized glass bottle in which we insert beer and then drink beer out of it. A couple of them landed on the discarded stubby, and then they started fucking it.
Did they?
Yep. Like going at it, like rooting this bottle.
So what are the size of these little...
A lot smaller than a stubby.
Okay.
Like they're a few centimetres long maybe. The stubby is not.
Okay.
They were going for it. Then they looked around, they found 2 more males like banging hard on other stubbies. This is discarded stubbies on the ground. And they thought we'd better science this, and you would.
Yeah.
So they got 4 more stubbies and they put them strategically around an open area to see if there would be more sweet loving. Within half an hour, at least 2 of the bottles had gentlemen callers knocking at the door.
Just to confirm, was there a particular brand of stubby?
It wasn't a particular brand.
Oh, so did they mix up the brand?
Oh, yeah, they got to that. They're scientists. So 2 bottles, bang, 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 bang. A little bit later, 4 more arrived and started hammering tongs in these bottles, which sounds, it's hilarious, hijinks. It's what you do in Dongara. I don't know if there's much else. Maybe it's a huge city, but I don't think it is. So it's just some hijinks, right? There's, it's a bit funny, some beetles banging bottles. Who's not going to laugh? I mean, I'd go to that show.
I wouldn't hang around.
No, you wouldn't pay a lot either, but, So it wasn't just harmless hijinks, because apparently the boy beetles would basically go at it until they are, quote, physically displaced, a.k.a. absolutely rooted, destroyed.
They're done.
Yeah.
They're done.
They would get so tired, they would render themselves incapable of getting food and sometimes even moving, just like,
I think dude should know his limits. Stop before you drop.
No, stop. Go until you do.
No.
You're no Australian male jewel beetle. They even saw things like males would fall off the bottles with heat exhaustion. And in a number of observations, they'd see examples like a male at the side of the bottle being attacked by all these ants, which were basically, quote, biting at the soft portions of his everted genitalia. There's another dead male nearby, covered with ants about an inch from a bottle. So basically, these guys root themselves almost to death.
And just from evolution speaking here, not a useful use of their seed.
They're not known to breed with glass objects, as a rule.
This is you're not achieving.
No, you're not achieving. Well, you're not achieving that. So now I was thinking, well, maybe these beetles are just your classic outback piss artists. They just get a bit drunk and they don't know what else to do, so they carry on. But they're not. Because it turns out when you leave full stubbies around, they're not interested. It's got to be empty. And they don't climb into them, so they're not going for the booze. They just start banging the bottle. And different colours didn't work either. It was only the brown ones.
Brown bottles.
Yep, brown bottles that had to be empty.
Just confirm, are they going at the mouth hole?
No, the dimple parts.
The dimple parts?
The dimple parts of the photo I saw was like an emu. Is it emu lager or emu something other? Anyway, a very localised Australian brand. So the simplest explanation, the best they came up with was the shiny brown colour of the glass looks a lot like the flightless lady beetles that lie around waiting to receive lovin'.
Are they flightless?
The ladies are.
Oh.
And the dimple glass looks...
I know,
you can't even fly.
As a gender divide, that's unfair.
It's shit.
Like, imagine half your species can fly.
It's like the gelflings in the dark crystal, but only the girls could fly.
Exactly like that. Exactly like that.
You know what I'm talking about.
I kind of do.
There's a great bit in the movie. He grabs onto her and she jumps off a cliff and she starts flying. He goes, I don't have wings. And she says, of course not, you're a boy.
I feel like I get there are sexual differences amongst the boys and girls in the animal kingdom.
Yeah, but flying or not flying is rude.
That's too big. Yeah. That's too big.
Like different coloured heads, fine. Bigger hands, no worries.
Yeah.
You can fly and you can't, fuck that.
That's rude.
Yeah, it's beyond. So the females, they basically lie around waiting for happy love time. So the glass looks like, the glass at the base of the bottles and the little bumps on it look a lot like the hardened forewings of the ladies because of the way they reflect light.
Right.
So that's why the empty one works.
I'm just horny for the reflected light.
Yeah, the reflected light, the colour, it's like that's got to be a lady just not going anywhere. Must be a lady beetle, so to speak, waiting for the sweet lovin'. And the fact that the bottle didn't move is like 90 times bigger than them, blah, blah, blah.
No other notice.
Did not factor in.
It's just a big one.
Didn't smell like there weren't any pheromonal relationships between the glass bottle.
I feel like you should use a few indicators to choose your partner.
Yeah, more like not moving, kind of the right colour. I'm going to go until I'm nearly dead.
I feel like just my advice to the Beatles out there.
Check a couple more facets, just something. Like go a little bit deeper, but not in that way. I don't know if you call it evolution. You call it something. I'm not quite sure what, though.
So I love a whole bunch of environmental stories that are not doom and gloom. There are absolutely stories that are happening around the world every day, every week, every month of people doing good things in the environment to, mitigate this terrible crisis that we're in the middle of or to make the world a little bit of a better place.
Nice.
I wondered if this one was. And I want your verdict.
Yes.
At the end.
Oh, at the end.
Because I read this and I was like, oh, that's great.
Oh, the tone suggests.
Great. No, it might be great. Maybe I'm being a cynic.
You're being very skibbity.
So obviously, we know that endangered species around the world face a range of different threats. There's from humans, there's habitat loss, or there might be chemicals in the environment. But of course, they've got their traditional predators as well. And sometimes if all three or more of those threats stack up, that's going to be pretty tough for these species.
Yes.
But maybe in this case, you can remove some of them. So the particular case that I'm looking at is in the Scottish Highlands.
A beautiful, bleak region.
Indeed. The pine marten, which is basically like a weasel-type animal.
I was going to say a bird. I'm wrong.
Or
a stoat. Squirrel.
A stoatish type
marmot.
Thing. Or a demon if in the right frame of mind.
Pine marten.
A pine marten. So it's not been doing very well for a while, but it's had a comeback. It's doing well now. It's boomed back.
Reunion tour. The pine martens are back together.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
But some of the species that it loves to just have a nibble on, they might be in a bit of danger. So one of the most famous is the region's capercaillie.
You don't have to tell me.
Yeah.
Famous.
Yeah. Well, of course, the capercaillie is an impressively large
Pig.
Grouse. It's a ground-dwelling grouse, which is not a definition of good. It's like a bird.
What a great name. What kind of animal are you? Grouse.
I'm grouse. I'm a capercaillie and I'm grouse.
Fucking grouse.
That's right.
Again, for non-Australian listeners, grouse means good in one of our vernacular.
Grouse is one of my favourite words for good.
It's hilarious.
It's great.
Freaking grouse.
Anyway, pine martens, being little stoaty jobbies, they love a bit of eggs. Like, you can imagine you find a nest of eggs. It's like I'm making some omelettes, but I'm not doing any cooking. I'm just smashing
going to raw grouse
egg.
Yummy.
So,
bits of shell, no big deal.
Yeah, so the pine martens have boomed back, and so now the capercaillie are in a bit of a risk. And there's only like 600 of the capercaillie, so they're on the brink as it is.
Yeah.
Now, as I said before, there are the variety of threats to the capercaillie. There are the habitat loss.
Yep.
Scotland's doing okay on that front. Chemical loss, okay on that front, but they've got this predator booming back to life. The pine martens. And so the researchers said, well, what if we just feed the pine martens? What if we go out there?
We'll run around with dozens of eggs and throw them around.
Well, no, not dozens. We're gonna. Okay, so there's too many deer in Scotland, so let's chop up some deer.
And deer eggs.
And we'll give them deer eggs, or we'll put some deer meat in an egg to look. I don't know if they did that, but they got some deer meat.
There are too many deer.
Too many deer.
There are not enough hunters.
Deer
you need more man
around.
with leather patches on their elbows and the shotgun broken until they need to use it.
Bambi is literally a weed.
Cunt.
Like well, I wasn't going to go that far, but Bambi is a weed in a lot of places. And in Scotland, there are a lot of deer.
Here too.
And they need to get rid of them. So
and they work so well with cars.
Shoot the deer.
Yep.
Chop up the deer.
Yep.
Feed the pine marten. Pine marten's happy and full. And then the capercaillie, they can have their babies in fine. And so
I'm waiting for the downside.
Well, okay. So basically, they've doubled the number of eggs per capercaillie that hatch.
Okay.
So the capercaillie is not as much on the brink as it was previously.
That's grouse.
Now, you played this game before.
once or twice.
So by shooting the deer, feeding the deer to the pine marten,
shoot the deer, feed the deer. Yep.
and the capercaillie is doing better. Now, here's the thing.
This is your obvious connection here. Why are you murdering the deer? Save those birds. Of course you are.
So here's the question for you.
Yeah.
Is this good news? These ecologists, I get that they have to cull the deer. Like the deer are too many. But if the ecologists are going, okay, so we feed the predators, so the predators don't eat the other birds.
Here's why it's not good news. Because humans have intervened with a single variable into a deeply complex ecosystem with things we don't even think to measure, better yet have measured, and have gone, one result seems good.
But we could go out there and just feed all of the predators.
We could.
And that would make the world better.
And then something happens where you go, oh, we couldn't feed them that month. Say, I don't know, tsunami or something. And then you're like, oh, I wonder what happens now. Let's take a deeply complex, potentially chaotic system and put something really arbitrary, mechanical and routine into it that does not normally exist.
But
what could go wrong?
I mean, they said they're only doing it during the specific breeding season when the eggs are on the ground.
Out of France, we didn't do it all the time.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just one of these slippery slopes. It's like we can save them in the zoos, or we could make the world a zoo.
Yeah, and I don't know. Noisy cynicism aside, in principle, I'm not against it because why not? Because the idea of pristinity is gone.
Totally.
So,
and you might as well save, like these are still wild birds.
Yeah.
They are still there, and we have a chance to save them. So that they're in this mix, and it's like.
And do we like them? Of course we do. They're grouse. So
you didn't even have to do that one.
I couldn't help myself. You know me. I see the line and then I forget where it was. And
there ain't no line on. There ain't no line.
There's no line on good. But the bottom line is always, when we do something so deeply and clearly interventionist and we tweak one variable, there are flow-on effects. They're not all bad, but one thing is for sure, they're going to be unknown until they've happened. So you're right, though. Do we turn it all into a zoo? Maybe we do, because maybe we kind of have.
Maybe we are. We're going to ruin the world.
If this is helping ruin the world, at least we're ruining it in a nice way, except for the deer, but, they had it coming.
Well,
this has been a chuggy.
Some bits of science.
Some bits of science. Optimistically, pessimistically, ambivalently, skibbity.
Yeah. But if you need to, if you want to write a review for us, get AI to write a review.
Yep.
And
put some blank text in there, see
and
what happens.
say what your emotions should be. To AI, tell me what my emotions should be.
Salacious.
Salacious.
Write us some salacious reviews, AI style.
Oh, cool. Send us questions too.
Yeah.
If you got like questions.
Yeah, send them to our PO box, which is cheers at a little bit of science one word .com.
.au. I feel like they're going to get that eventually. So cool. It's cool. We love
eventually
you.
Too. And if you didn't know this, we have a Twitch
stream.
So the 5,000 people who are on Twitch know that already, but the two of you who aren't, get on that too. How do they find out about that? I don't know how to do that.